everyone. So we have another interesting session of Marketing Jedi, and today we have Om joining us from Pepsi. Uh, and Om has been doing some really different jobs in his career, right? So he has started off from the floor. He has done some product management, some part of brand management, media management, and currently what he does is he's head of the digital head of media planning and partnerships at PepsiCo. So that's a very brief introduction about Om. And probably to kick off this conversation, I'll ask Om to probably introduce himself better and how this all started and how he ended up here.
Thanks, Alakshit, and thank you to the entire team at InMovie and at Gali for organizing this and providing this platform to me. Really honored and looking forward to the conversation. We have had quite a few conversations between me and you, Alakshit,
Yeah.
across multiple platforms, but this is going to be an interesting one too, like the other conversations that we have had in the past. To tell very briefly about myself, my name is Om. I lead media and partnerships for PepsiCo India, and a few neighboring countries like Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. Been with PepsiCo for around a couple of years. Have been really enjoying this ride here with the iconic set of brands to work across on foods and beverages. It's a privilege and an honor to be working for an organization like PepsiCo. And how I've been here, it's as you said in the beginning, it's been quite an exciting thrill ride. Is what I would say. What I'm doing now, I never did earlier, and what I was doing earlier, I had not done that before. So it's been moving on from one unknown to another one, and trying to understand and unravel whatever is there to be done, trying to do that, and then moving on to something new. And that new has always been an unknown. And then again, the journey of trying to unravel and solve the unknown begins. And that I reckon has been the most exciting part of the last 14 years of my journey, and I've been enjoying every bit of it. It with stints across multiple organizations, multiple teams. I've done variety of roles in my life, and I think all of them have left me quite a bit enriched. And uh, the experiences or stints that I've done previously, they have always helped me in doing the next set of roles that I've landed in. So that's how the journey has been going on so far. And there I can say that I do not know what is it that I'll be getting into next.
Right. Right. So if I'm a headhunter, probably I should look for a job outside the industry and the current job role that you have, right? And only then I should approach you. But tell me more about this. Sorry for that. Tell me more about this. I just wanted to understand how does this transferable skills work when you move from very different roles, and the transition has been smooth. It has been in one direction. But how do you feel you have that skills that you learned at a very early stage, right? When you were roaming on the floors to what you do now? How does those skills translate now?
So honestly, if you ask me, Alakshit, and I've been trying to kind of introspecting on this, because this is a question which is asked very often to me. My wife keeps often asking this question to me very often, that how has it been? You started off on a shop floor manufacturing auto components, and what are you doing now? You're talking about platforms like YouTube, Takata, Facebook, Instagram, television, this program, that program. What is it? You're talking about making ads, shortening the duration of the ads, and she has been witnessing my journey for quite some time now, and she also is largely baffled at home that the conversations that you have been doing on phone, they have been changing over the last 11 years that we have been married, and that's absolutely true. But if I try and identify what is that one thing, okay, let me try and attempt and answer this in a different way. If I try and say that have I been doing multiple different things in my life in the last 14 years, Or is it so that I've been just doing one thing? And figuratively, I reckon that I've just been doing one thing, and that thing has been solving problems. That's what I've been doing. When I was on a shop floor, I used to solve problems, and when I was in idea doing different roles, what I was trying to do was to solve problems. And what I do now is to just solve problems. So that is a common thread which has been continuing across. Yeah, but the kind of problems that one is getting to solve, they are different. But at the end of the day, we're just solving problems. And as long as we are solving the problems effectively and efficiently, the work is getting done. It doesn't matter whether you're doing it for a media role, where you're doing it for a digital role in media specifically, where you're trying to do it more about analytics and data, or you're trying to do about corporate strategy, or about pricing, or about brand management. Essentially, what you're trying to do is to solve a problem. And as long as that streak of solving problem exists, and you are good at it, I think every role gets done somehow or the other.
Right. Very, very interesting take on that, Om. I think, yeah, it makes perfect sense to look at it from that doing one thing over and over and over and over, right? At different places. And turning that same perspective, keeping the same perspective on and looking at this, the industry now, right? Now you are into the marketing role. And how do you look at the marketing world right now? How has that been seeing an evolution of the problems that as an industry we were solving in past and what we are solving now, especially from the technological point of view?
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting question, Alakshit, because if you try and descend down to okay, let's start with technology first, and we'll come to marketing later. Because maybe it will help me articulate the idea that's there in my head now. Is that if you look at technology, right? We're talking about robotics, we're talking about machine learning, we're talking about artificial intelligence, and we're talking about whatnot. These are still the peripheral things. There are deep technological researches happening across the domain globally, which is absolutely path breaking, right? But the moment machines get involved, and every technology is involved with machine, technology have less been about human and more about machine, and obviously so. But if you try and break down that tech, it would, and to its deepest and the most minute level, it would boil down to that 0 and 1 level of coding and programming, right? Yeah. All the technology is 0 and 1, right? And on a combination of 0 and 1. And because it's binary, machines understand that. Or maybe that has evolved also quite a bit, but for till quite some time, it used to be 0 and 1 and the entire binary setup, because that's what the machines would understand. And then there are layers and layers of sophistication on that. If you try and transport the same algo to marketing, I reckon it's the same stuff. The basic tenets of marketing, they haven't changed. They're still the same. Yeah. What do you want to do? You want, in marketing, you essentially want to tell to the consumer about the mental availability, that, hey, this is my product. This is how, these are the attributes of the product. This is where this product is available, and why you should go and buy this product, how would it help you, how it will alleviate your problem, adds value in your life, and so on. So it's the same mental availability to drive that is marketing job. It's been the job of marketing from David Ogilvy's day to even now, right? Yeah. The good part and the more exciting part of this is what technology has been doing to this all along. Yeah. And if you refer to Moore's law, Gordon Moore, who was the CEO of Intel, he said that the number of pins in a chip would double every 12 months, right? And I reckon that Moore's law is applicable at more places than not. Not only applicable to the chip business, but also applicable to any technological business. Yeah. The number of years it takes to bring one path-breaking technology, and the number of years it takes to get the second path-breaking technology, it keeps
Right.
shrinking. Right?
Right.
So that's why the era that we are witnessing now and the era that we are going to witness in days to come, the level of tech that we are going to witness in days to come is going to be of a different order. Nothing is going to change on the fundamentals of marketing, things to be done by marketing, but what is going to be changed on the
Right.
how part of it, how much, and the entire execution of it is going to change, become better, become sharper. And I think this is, while marketing has always been very exciting, one of the one of the rare professions which continued to be exciting over a period of a century or so. But this makes marketing more and more exciting.
Right.
The idea of fusing technology with marketing is making marketing more and more powerful, potent, and exciting. Now, coming to what we are witnessing now, I I reckon we are still scratching the surface. There is there is a thing which is limiting us is our imagination, and that also is letting loose by quite a few marketeers and quite a few tech companies which are at the forefront, like InMobi. And all of us are together breaking barriers. We are letting our imagination loose, and the barriers which are emerging in the path of our imagination, we are breaking them. Who could have thought that when you are advertising on television, you have to advertise to one and all? Who could have thought that you could advertise to males and females?
Yeah.
If you don't want to advertise to females, go and pick only males to advertise. Who could have thought that even amongst males you could pick audience? Who could have thought that if you want to advertise in a specific geolocation, say in an area around a modern trade store, you can do that. So the way the entire journey has been moving along, I reckon that this has come off quite a bit on its own, but there is a long, long way to go where things are going to be more and more exciting. I don't know whether I gave the right answer that you were looking for here.
You did give quite like the answer that I was expecting, and I think it was subjective also in a way, and I can't. At the back of my head, I was thinking it's is it that you are saying that like Kotler and Newton are one and the same thing, right? The Kotler continues since it was part of the curriculum, and the Newtonian laws are part of the curriculum since time forever, right? So the fundamentals remain the same, right? Yeah, obviously Kotler was not a scientist and Newton was. Those were the laws. These are some principles or attributes that someone talks about. But yeah, makes perfect sense. And you touched upon that part, right, where you could define targeting, right? So we had ATL and BTL, and somewhere in we have found somewhere in between, which can work like a BTL, where I can be very selective, but still can do it at scale, right? That's the digital channel for you, right? How do you think the digital journey has emerged, right? And what are your thoughts on the importance of it in the current times?
Yeah, I think digital has made marketing honestly a lot more exciting.
Right.
Yeah, if you talk to people for seeking inspiration or guidance, people who've been ace marketeers and did some really path-breaking stuff during their time. If you try and talk to them, most of them would rue about the absence of digital at the time when they were operating 10 years back. Maybe it was there, but not at its prime. The capabilities were limited. And they would say that the best thing for us left to innovate at that point of time was television. And what do? You can't. I couldn't make those 50 creatives for one campaign and show them to different cohorts of people. I could make only one creative, and that had to do all the jobs, and then add a restriction of doing it in 30 seconds, and I could do only that much. Right?
Right.
If you talk to the best of the directors, and they would talk about it, that if you want the story to do more, you'll have to elongate the story, because it's
Right.
not possible, because the human mind is specifically more so of consumers just doesn't work like the minds of
Right.
marketeers.
Right.
It operates at system one level, and at system one, the mind is geared to ignore ads, right? And or it doesn't try to solve ads, try
Yeah.
and find a deep meaning in an ad. It operates at system one level, and at system one level, these things are very, very superfluous
Yeah.
for a consumer's mind. So you would need to tell that story in that way, which you can do now. And look at the possibilities. You can make thousands of cohorts and thousands of creatives for them, and because the tech
Yeah.
has emerged to such a level. So that is the beauty of how digital has really made marketing all the more exciting.
Yeah.
And the advent of data into digital, that itself is making the game far deeper and far more exciting. What is to be also appreciated is that if you look at markets around the globe,
Right.
if you look at a market like US or Europe,
Mm.
the span of digital is wider at this point of time, and digital looks far more potent and capable there. If you look at a market like us, we are what, at 50% digital penetration. Roughly, the population would be 130 crores or something like that. Digital access is, say, there are varying reports, but say some 65, 70 crores, 50% digital penetration. Compared to other markets, much lower. But the way we are increasing, the way we are witnessing a sharp uptake on smartphone penetration and digital penetration, we are not too far away from reaching to those magical 90-95% of digital penetration. Then what we're talking about is a billion plus people on digital, each with their own customized screen,
Right.
and then the whole world is open then for you to talk to these billion people in this market with billion messages, or maybe more in a day. So that prospect of digital marketing is something which is extremely exciting,
Right.
and that's the thing that I reckon all marketers are looking up to it, that how can we leverage digital as the preferred channel of communication with my consumer. And it is not about a one-way communication, showing you ad on TV and then the game ends there. It's also about the power of engagement that this medium has. That if you are trying to tell something to a consumer, the consumer can also try and tell something back to you, and that makes it all the more exciting,
Right.
right? It's like films earlier were black and white and muted, and the moment the sound appeared, it just took off. That medium took off. The similar thing is happening here in digital. That
Right.
advertising or brand communication, which always used to be a one-way street, the moment it has become, or there's a possibility of it becoming a two-way street, the excitement has just gone up many-fold up.
Right, right. I think the feedback loop, right? And because you touched upon that cinema, I thought about the rock bands that they perform, right? If you want RHCP to perform for you, you need to bring in as many people as they want, right? Because otherwise they can't perform. So the feedback does work, and feedback does work also in that sense that it provides you, it enables you with something to look forward to, right? What should be your next step? How people are reacting, and then gradually with the feedback you can preempt as well. And I was thinking mobile has really taken that entire journey to the next level, right? Where the feedback has become even more quicker, right? Now if I at certain products I get a QR code to scan, right? I can probably scan that and react to it, right? Or I have an option to send an SMS to something, and forget even that, right? We have options to react to the social media or anything. So So reaction is one part of the mobile, but also how in overall sense, do you think the mobile is creating that importance for us? How's that changing your life in particular as a marketer?
Yeah, that's absolutely interesting. And a large part of my life, I've been with a couple of telcos, and I did some bit of telecom consulting in between also with one of the big fours. And I never imagined this day where we are today uh, back then. And just to tell you, just to put things in perspective, when I used to be with a telco, we used to sell 1 GB of 3G or 4G data at 250 rupees, right?
Right.
And we all know what the price of 1 GB of data
Yeah.
today is. The average data consumption used to be 700 MB. Today we know what that number is. The way this entire thing has gotten transformed, it's nothing short of magical.
Right.
And if we had gone through the traditional route of bringing digital adoption in this country, we would have not been able to cross the single digit barrier of
Right.
digital penetration. I reckon there are a couple of things at a very basic level. There are a couple of things which has enabled this digital penetration going up. One is the cheaper devices. The price of the devices have gone down, they've crashed. And a good enough device is available for less than $50. In smartphone devices is available for less than $50. And the price of data, the fuel of the devices, that has gone down. And the entire bit of capacity that has been unlocked or unleashed by the telcos, so to say. Because telecom is a very capital intensive business, and despite that, the way the telcos of this country have managed to unleash the capacity for people to surf or use or download data is something which is mind-boggling. With these two, we are sitting at a huge number today. The number that we talk about, say 700 million, if we peg that as the number of people having access to internet in India, that's more than double than the population of quite a few countries, large countries on the planet.
Combined, maybe.
Yeah, and then we are quite only a bit short from getting to a billion. I think that would happen in the way the technological advancement are stacking themselves up, the way 5G is knocking the door, the way even cheaper handsets are around the corner. I reckon a billion internet users in India is not a distant dream.
Right.
With all of that, the marketing fraternity I reckon, is extremely excited. Now, let me just try and dwell a little more on this point by using a couple of data points. Let's pick one of the most interesting and exciting markets in this country, Uttar Pradesh.
Right.
Uttar Pradesh has a population of say 22, 23 odd crores. If you look at the television penetration in the market in Uttar Pradesh, you would realize, as per BARC reports and other estimates, not even half the population of Uttar Pradesh have got access to television. Right? And to complicate the matter further, Uttar Pradesh is part of the Hindi-speaking market belt. Right? So you can't specifically advertise in Uttar Pradesh like, say, a Tamil Nadu or an Andhra Pradesh or a Karnataka, right? Where you can specifically go and only target that market through television. But in UP, you can of course leverage television, but the penetration of television is on the lower side. That presents a challenge, that how do you try and reach out to more and more people in that market, right? And that becomes a big marketing conundrum to solve, a big marketing challenge to solve. Because what you want to do is to increase your reach. For that, you want to talk to more number of people, you want to show your ad to more number of people. But how do you do that when half the market doesn't have television? Now, television set would come at its own cost, would be an expensive proposition. For that, you need to buy a television set, you need to have power supplies. which need to be regular. You need uh, some mechanism, say a DTH or a dish connection or a cable connection or a free dish to watch television, to watch program on that television set of yours. But and then it's a community thing. It belongs to the whole family.
Right.
But if you compare that with a mobile phone, a smartphone, that is yours, customized to you. Each member in the family can have, and comes at much lower price, right?
Right.
And the fuel for that phone, which is data, is also available dirt cheap. Now
Right.
that makes, and with that, the amount of smartphones in UP is growing at a very fast rate, which is somewhere bridging the gap of those people who are not having access to television. They are having access to smartphones.
Right.
And then brands can cater their communication to those smartphones to reach out to those consumers, which were so far almost unreachable. Right. So that's the reason when I said that these 600, 700 million smartphones in the country, it's making the matter all the more exciting for the entire marketing fraternity. That's the idea. And if you look around, Lakshit, across MMA, across so many other award functions which happen, the kind of campaigns which come, right, for you to look at, they are so imaginative, out of the box, liberating for brands, and also for the consumers, and they're so exciting. They're trying to do different things, trying to experiment with newer stuff, which so far was unheard of, or could only thought of, but was very difficult to execute. Now it's becoming easier to execute also, thanks to digital smartphones and the entire digital ecosystem coming around us.
Well, I think one of the reasons might be because this is a fairly young thing, right? It's like 10 years old thing in the market, right? The entire mobile piece or the smartphone piece is more or less 10 years, maybe add a couple of more there, but that's pretty much it, right? Before that, to imagine some of these things was difficult. And that's why everything that someone does, which is slightly different, brings a lot of surprise and awe, right? Because we have not been experiencing it all our lives. And it might not be similar way for the next generation, right? For example, for me, when I first heard the word app, right, it was a very different thing. Like I remember I was in college and I was like, what do you mean there is an app, right? What do you mean there is this phone has a lot of apps? Okay, does it have a lot of software? What does that app mean? And probably I can't even define app even till now, but it's an integral part of my life now. I know what WhatsApp is, what TOI is, and all of these things I consume over an app, right? Now I also wanted to probably ask you a follow-up question on that, right? How does this app journey has exactly translated in that brand consumer relationship, so as to say, right? The apps came in, and then you have a very different way of awareness, acquisition, and engagement with the brands. So how does that exactly play out for you? And you not being a digital native brand, right? For an Uber, it might be a very different question.
Yeah. So apps, from a consumer standpoint, definitely it's eased the life again beyond imagination, and more so the forms of app which got developed for different type of smartphones, including the PWAs that we have. It's all of it is meant to make life more convenient for the consumer. When it comes to brands, more so in our portfolio, if you look at us, we have been kind of staying away from developing an app or being part of the app ecosystem. But what we have been trying to do is to go through the route of partnerships, where we are trying to partner with the larger app ecosystem for different purposes. Varies from brand to brand, campaign objective to campaign objective. But instead of trying to develop something on our own, we have been trying to leverage the might of the app ecosystem and leverage that for the benefit of our brands. Now, why we have been trying to stay away from apps per se, Lakshit, is that as you rightly said, that the purpose of an app for Uber or for PepsiCo would be completely different.
Right.
For us, uh, we would struggle to provide reasons for consumers to download an app which belongs to us. We excel in making consumers rejoice our products in every bite and in every sip. But I wonder how would it be if we were to say that download an app and maybe order the product to be
Right.
delivered at your doorstep. But that's part of our value chain that we don't excel at, right?
Right.
That's never going to be primary to us. So instead of trying to build that as a capability, it would make sense if we try and partner with someone and
Right.
try and make sure that our products are within the reach of the consumer and as per the convenience of the consumer. So the consumer may find it a lot more convenient to order our products through other e-com players and platforms. And hence, we are not trying to bind the consumer to order our products or avail our products through one app. We are trying to be present across the e-commerce ecosystem to ensure that the consumer is as liberated as our brands can enable them to be while ordering our product. So we are absolutely trying to be absolutely democratic, trying to be on all the digital platforms where one can go and buy the product. You would find our products available and listed. But we have so far been not seriously thinking of building an app of our own for the purpose of direct to consumer businesses in India, more
Yeah.
so.
But you see, a lot of others have forayed into that zone, right? Without naming names, some of the FMCG players have got into, or and not incumbents, the newcomers especially, who have the primary business as D2C, have got into that app play, etc. So how do you take that call? Obviously, it can't be just reactionary, that you have seen that someone new has come up and they are getting into that and you react to it. But how do you basically take that call? Which area do you want to get into, especially from that app's perspective, right? How did you take that call that you would not be going ahead, or at least do not have a current plan to go ahead into that direction of D2C?
Yeah. So no, it's not that we are not there on the
You are there on the
the
D2C channels, yeah.
yeah, we are there on the D2C, but more so in the form of a website. We don't have
Yeah.
an app as of now because it's very difficult to divert traffic to an app because for that the consumer
Right.
will have to download the app.
Yeah.
But if you make a portal mobile optimized and web optimized as well as in for desktops, it serves the purpose, a similar purpose, right? The so as you rightly said, it's not a reactionary game that
Right.
we have been trying to get into. We've been trying to look at our set of priorities, and also we've been trying to look at scale because
Hmm.
we operate at a different scale in the market, be it in foods or in beverages. The scale that we have uh, for that for that to be uh, for that scale to be managed, it is imperative for us to be present across traditional trade, modern trade, and e-com, and all the alternate forms of channels.
Right.
It can't be that we try and jettison one in favor of the other because our scale is such that it would not allow our business to it would be a hindrance, so to say, for the business to grow rather than in being an enabler. While we have seen quite a bit of a jump in our e-com sales for sure, we have intensified our efforts in that direction. But what has been coming around is that the route of partnership is playing out very, very well for us at this point of time. And
Right.
hence we have decided that let's wait the game out. Let's play the game with by leveraging the strength of our partners. So, for example, if without naming names again, if one of our partners, we work very actively with them, and they say that we can deliver the groceries within 15 minutes in your doorstep. Somebody says that we can do that in half an hour. Then in order to build a muscle which can beat that is going to be quite a task in itself. So why to get into a business of trying to beat them? Why not help them to build our business? So because they exist in that business to help deliver your groceries. So if or deliver your stuff. So be it a can of Pepsi or a bag of Lay's or anything else, it doesn't matter to them. So they are as indifferent to that as they can be. So it's a great partnership going for us. So why not leverage that more? Why not scale that up more? That's how we've been thinking about it.
Yeah, it makes sense that you are riding on your partner's competitive edge than to build something of your own, because it will take time, it will take investment, and then you don't know if it's worthwhile or not. But a lot of things have gone into the reevaluation phase after pandemic hit us, right? So I'm sure that you would have also taken as feedback and like decided that okay, we need to start everything from the drawing board again, or think of a lot of such things again. So more than 1 year now into the pandemic, what are the things that you are looking at which have transformed or you have made a pivotal change on, and what are the things that you continue to run as is, or which is business as usual, as you would call it?
Yeah, Akshay, this is something which has been asked to me very often. That have you changed quite a bit? Has PepsiCo changed quite a bit in the pandemic? And I can say this from my personal experience that this organization more so is very forward looking, thinks ahead of its time, acts ahead of its time, and has got an amazing knack to challenge the or ride over the uncertainties, right? If I honestly tell you, have we changed a lot of things or the core of our strategy, be it business strategy or media strategy or anything? The answer would be no, right? And this reminds me of Jim Collins. He says one of his books, I think he says this in Great by Choice, that inconsistency is a signature of mediocrity. And one thing that I have not found this organization to be is to be inconsistent, or the leadership here to be is to be inconsistent. We have not been flipping flopping. We have, and that's what you would have seen if you look at our brand propositions. We got Swag on Pepsi, and we are continuing with Swag on Pepsi. Swag on Pepsi was there pre-pandemic; it continues to be post-pandemic, right? It's not got changed; it got intensified. We had Dar Ke Aage Jeet Hai on Mountain Dew. We have Dar Ke Aage Jeet Hai on Mountain Dew. We had whatever we stood for on the brands, on Slice, 7-Up, Mirinda, Lay's, Kurkure, Doritos. We have not changed our positioning. We continue to build more on that. And if the situation demands, we would change. It doesn't mean that we would not change or we are averse to change. We would. But there has to be a very strong case for that. And if the positioning here has been made after quite a bit of a deliberation, thinking and strategizing, unless and until there is a strong need to change, we won't change. And the same applies to our marketing principles and our digital approach and our media approach. Things have not been changing. We had embarked upon a digital transformation journey, and we are continuing to be on that path. Of course, we have accelerated. We had plans of accelerating e-commerce that got further accentuated thanks to the pandemic. We had plans of transforming our digital marketing that definitely got accentuated by the pandemic. But the fundamentals have again not changed. They've stayed where they were. We have been thinking of trying to speak to consumer at a level of cohort, trying to segment users, trying to be more specific in our communication. That is something that we've been trying to do for 3 years, and we are still continuing on that journey. Of course, we have moved from point A to point B to point D now, and the
Yeah.
journey would continue to till Z and beyond also. But then the path has always been there. It's just
Right.
that the direction, the velocity has always been there. It's just that the
That's
acceleration
correct.
may go up or down.
Yeah, yeah. So pandemic, yeah, became a catalyst of sorts for some of these things, right? The things which
Yeah.
were in the plan suddenly had to be like fueled up so that they can move forward more quickly. And
Yeah.
uh, and slightly on a different lines, but and linking back to this idea that some part of this acceleration also comes from the insight that you gain, right? That your market research team has come back saying that this is the state now. The out of home is not working anymore, right? Or say short form video is the in thing. So how does that exactly play out, right? And I'm sure that everyone would have reached out to them in the pandemic era, right? The market research team must be one of those teams which were like really bothered by everyone. But what is that you gain? What is your entire data driven analytics based strategy at Pepsi? How does that exactly play out in terms of the media planning and other strategies of the marketing?
Yeah. I'm extremely proud of saying this, Alakshit, that at PepsiCo, consumer is everybody's responsibility. And
Yeah.
that's the tenet that we believe in. So every organization has got some values that they live by, right? And one of the values that we have is be consumer centric, and
Yeah.
that is everybody's responsibility in the organization, right? And every function, every individual's responsibility in the organization. So yeah, you're right that my insights colleagues were inundated with requests from all of us, but then. We all know that this is a collective responsibility that we hold, and we hold it to very, very close to our heart. And as you rightly said, the outdoor business may not be stay as relevant as it was earlier, more so during the peak of the pandemic. So that's when we pivoted towards home as the hub, right? And we were very quick and agile in transforming or tweaking our creative to saying that enjoy at home. So that's why you see Lays at Home back. The entire campaign, Ghar Par Lays Always. And what is that trying to tell you is that uh, since you're not going out that much, why don't you stock Lays at Home? So since the consumer's behavior is changing or likely to change, we are trying to anticipate that and move in accordance with that. So
Right.
that's absolutely is something that's happening, and across brands and across markets, you would see that happening. But what when it comes to media deployment, what we try and do is to monitor, uh, uh, and this is the part that I love about my job. That it's thankfully it's heavily data driven, so
Yeah.
you don't have to make conjectures, you don't have to second guess on a lot of stuff. You look at data and then you decide. So if you look at data and you find that okay, what percentage of your investments are going behind television, and what percentage of eyeballs are still there on television, specifically in your target group, and if you find a change in the pattern, you change your investment pattern as well. Uh, Essentially, the the way I said that the consumption pattern would follow the consumer, the media pattern or the media investment pattern would absolutely follow the consumer. If the consumer are moving away from TV towards digital, the investment media investment pattern would follow from TV towards digital, or vice versa. If consumers are moving towards short video platforms, we would move towards short video platforms.
Sure.
So that's why you would find us to be on at the forefront. When TikTok used to be here, we used to be very very much present on TikTok. Now that Takatak is here, we are very much present on Takatak or Instagram Reels, and we are evaluating all of the platforms, short video platforms, because you're absolutely right that the taste of the consumer is changing, and this change comes about gradually, but we need to be a step ahead in trying to anticipate that. So that's what we try and do, and what helps us is lot of data which we can get from any source possible, and a lot of consumers speak as well. We try and speak to as many consumers as possible. Earlier, we used to be on the field trying to speak to consumers across the length and breadth of the country, but now we try and do that on Zoom call. We try and our insights team and our insights partner, research partner, they do a fabulous job of getting the right representatives for us from the cross section of the entire consumer groups that we want to talk to, and all of them are available on Zoom, and we have got fascinating chats with each one of them, trying to understand their motivations, their predilections, what is it that is motivating them towards short video platforms, and the insights that we glean are very, very meaningful, and they keep guiding us in our journey to transform slowly.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So you are following the eyeballs basically, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good media strategy to have. And the time is running out. I'm sorry for that. It was, and I totally lost track of it. Right, it was a very interesting discussion that we were having. And I was learning quite a few things. And maybe after this recording, I'll catch up with you again. But just a last question for everyone who would be watching this, or any marketer or advertiser or media enthusiast out there. What would be the top three advices that you would have from the what should be they be advised upon for the future, right? Anything that comes to your mind, any upcoming trends, anything.
Lakshit, how I'd like to put it is the top three things that I would like to work on, or maybe I'm trying to work on, is maybe I can enumerate them, but trying to give advice to people, I wouldn't reckon myself to be capable enough on that one. So the first piece that I would say is read Byron Sharp as much as one can. And there are two books that the guy has written, and this is at personal level that I'm talking about, not as an employee of the organization where I work, but personally I found them to be extremely delightful set of books coming out from Byron Sharp and team, and they are very, very intuitive, and they're full of data, so very interesting, and we are trying to imbibe as much as we can of whatever the entire team has to talk about there from Byron Sharp and team. So that's piece number one. Try and imbibe as much of Byron Sharp as one can to be better at the things that you talk about. The second one is, it's very important to bring data to digital. Digital without data doesn't make any sense. So it's very, very, very important to look at data which comes out of every campaign and try and de-average that data. And I can tell you personally, me and my team, we have learned a lot by looking at our campaigns executed, which channels were they served on, where the VTRs were higher, and the de-averaging of data gives such enlightening information which we had assumed is either not available, or rather I was under the impression that what's there, will I get anything? But the moment I started looking at data, and it changed my perspective. And that's one piece of advice that I give to everyone in my agency and in my team, that look at data. And digital data you can look at hourly basis, daily basis. Try and look at data in a granular format, as much as granular you can go. Right. That's the second bit. That digital is all about data, and if anyone would try and convince me about anything else, I would tend to initially not agree, but then I would ask for more evidence on that. But so far, the evidence that I have seen is that digital without data doesn't make any sense. So that's the second bit. The third bit would be that we should let our imagination loose and try and ask questions which are which may be laughed upon, but so be it. Because those questions uh, which we may ask today and we might get laughed upon, 2 years down the line, they may be staring back in our face and also in the faces of people who had laughed upon us. So it's very important for anyone in digital marketing or in digital to be asking those set of questions, that can I show my ad only to this person here at this time, only when this person is looking for this can I serve an ad then, instead of trying to advertise. So let's look at a problem like this. If you're serving somebody an ad of maybe Pepsi at 12 at night and asking go and buy Pepsi 12 at night, does it serve a purpose, right?
Yeah.
If you do that when the temperature is hot, when the person is feeling thirsty and you show an ad, go grab a Pepsi, right? That's where the entire magic can happen, unless it's plain advertising. The second bit is magic. So
Right.
because the purpose of advertising is to cue consumption, to make the consumption happen, right?
Yeah.
That's the primary ultimate objective. Now, if it can cue consumption, it the only thing that would come to play is tech. Can you leverage tech to deliver that? And if you can, and this is just an example that I'm talking about, can you deliver that? If you can deliver that, then that's consumer delight, that brand's delight, brand managers delight, that is organizational delight, that's a delight for everyone. So that's the thing, that trying to ask questions on stuff now, that can it be done? And trust me, in my limited span, I think asking questions has helped me more than anything else. Because the moment you ask a question, you don't ask that question to others, you ask that question to yourself, and then that quest from within yourself takes you to others. And then when it takes you to others, others also get inspired by your question and they start finding solve for that. And then it has a cascading effect. So asking questions and letting your imagination loose for that is something which is extremely powerful.
Right. Actually, the last point that you made actually sums up like this, the entire circle, right? From the very first question, that how did you end up here, starting from the shop floor and then this marketing job. I think curiosity is a very strong drive in you, and that's a very rare, that's not that dies in people after a certain age. So it's a very great quality. Thanks, Om. Thanks for having this chat with me. It was great session. I learned quite a few things. I hope people in the audience would have also learned at least a couple of things, or they would have taken a note of the writer that you mentioned about. I'll go back and I'll find out the books, and I'll probably give them a read. Thanks, Om.
Thanks a lot, Alexia. Thanks a lot. It was thanks a lot for your kind words, and thanks for the opportunity again to you to involve